Alrighty then. As you can plainly see, I'm still alive, still breathing. That means I lived longer than my German grandfather, and he made it to 63, and my Italian grandfather made it to 57, so I beat them both. Now I can continue making accordion videos. How exciting. So this is the second video, and we're talking about the accordion's 120 bass Stradella system. And in the first video, I did all that jibber jabber about the basics and what we're going to get into. And so this is the deeper one. We're going to go a little deeper. And the nice thing about the 120 bass is you have a wide range. There's a nice wide range of buttons to choose from. It makes it a whole lot easier than your systems with only, like, say 48 or 96 buttons. You're somewhat limited. Excuse me. And I apologize for the last video. It's uncomfortable to sit here holding this. I have too many problems. So while I can still hold the accordion, I'd like to share these ideas, and maybe somebody will find them useful, or maybe not. So if you want to see what the chords are, look in the description box on the video, the information box down below, and you'll see the chords mapped out. And every once in a while I check them to make sure there's no boo-boos, and then I fix them. So if you see any little boo-boos, don't panic. And also, if you want to know exactly what tones you're playing per button, for each button, you can go on the internet and get one of these Stradella charts. I don't know if you can see this, but it shows which tones are played when you hit certain buttons. I don't know if that's going to focus in or not, but you'll find these charts on the internet. They're all over the place. I use it all the time. It's a little handy little reference. So what you want to do is, when you want to use all 5 fingers, you don't want to make your strap too tight. Now, as you can see, this is way loose, but I'm used to that, because you don't want to restrict that hand so that it can't go anywhere. You don't want to restrict it. You want to be able to do this and this comfortably. You want to be able to move comfortably like this. Okay? So you don't want to restrict that hand. That's very important. And also you'll find when you're playing using the 5-finger system that most of what you need is in one general area. You normally don't have to jump too far. It's usually in one general area, which is nice. And the things that you'll need, you'll generally find in a certain smaller range than you would if you played in the traditional way, which means you got to jump all around looking for crap. Okay. And also, when I talk about using the thumb and the pinky more frequently, it's not unnatural. I mean, we have 5 fingers, so let's try to use them if possible. Okay, now I got to get to the chords itself for the song. The song that I chose was Moonlight Becomes You, and not just because it's my favorite song of all time, and not just because it's from the movie Road to Morocco, which featured Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, and Dorothy Lamour, and not just because I actually met Dorothy Lamour in 1991 in Harrisburg, but I chose it because it shows how we can make those moves employing the thumb and the pinky. So that's really why I chose it. So let's look at the chords now. And I hope you can see this well enough to actually learn something. And I'll try to go fast. And then after this, if I make any more videos, I'll make them shorter, and I'll just focus on 1 or 2 chord progressions, 1 or 2 moves, easy stuff. But for now, we're going to do a lot. We're going to try not to take forever. Okay. So I already showed you the chords for this song in the first video. again, I apologize. It was sloppy, and I was in great pain, and I kept saying like an idiot. But it's only because I'm uncomfortable. So please bear with me, and let's get her done here. Okay, you got the first chord is F major, and that's real simple. That's actually probably the second chord you learn as a child, as a beginner. F major. Then the next chord in the song is an F sharp diminished. So I go from the F major, then I use the index for the F sharp counter bass. And this button here, I'm using my thumb. See here? I'm using my thumb for this button here. Okay? That's an A diminished button. Okay, I'll show you this again. F sharp major. F major. Now see, I didn't even have to move my hand. F major. Then I go to the F sharp counter bass, and then the A diminished chord button. And you got your little progression there. Then I go to G minor 7. That's a G bass. And then the B flat major button. That's a G minor 7. And then the C7 in the traditional position. Now, I mean, now how difficult was that? Let's do that again. Just those 4 chords. See, I barely move my hand from its bass default position. Now, to do that in the traditional way is just god awful, and I'm not even going to show it to you, because you'd have to fly all over the place, blah blah. It'd be just terrible. So there you go. Now let's review that and then move to the next one. F major, F sharp diminished, G minor 7, C7. Now I go down here to the A counter bass with the F major button, pinky on A flat bass, A flat bass, and the D diminished chord button, D diminished button. And I go up here to the G minor 7 again, pinky, C7. Let's do those 4 again. So now I just showed 8 chords, and you didn't fly all around, and it was easy. Watch. See my hand? I didn't go like, you didn't see the bulk or the base of my hand flying all over the place. It just stayed there, and a little twisting, a little this and that, and that's it. Now let's play that with the melody that goes with it. Okay, so then we'll continue on. The next one would be, if you look at your chord chart below, A minor 7 with an A counter bass, then a D7, which would be a D counter bass with the A diminished button, and that gives you a D dominant 7th chord with no missing tones. In other words, there's no missing 5th. The 5th note is not missing. Then I go back to the G minor 7 again, C7, and traditional. Then if you look at your chart, the next chord is an A7, so I just go right over here to the A counter bass, and then the E diminished button. And then I get the A7 diminished chord with no missing tones. Nothing's missing. Then D7 traditional, and G7 traditional, and then C7 traditional. And And that was the whole first verse. I'll go over that now, slowly, so you can watch the fingers. That's the first verse. Then the repeat of that verse, in other words, that verse repeated, and the third verse to end the song is pretty much the same, so I don't need to go over that. But I will point out some interesting things. Let's first go to the chorus, just so you can see how I play the chords that are listed in the description box. The chorus is B flat major, and B flat 7 in traditional position. Traditional means ordinary, like you would play it. And the next chord is E flat major. Then I use a C counterbass with that E flat major button. Then I go down here to the F7. Oh, hold on a second. Let's go back again. Wait, B flat 7, E flat, C counterbass, F7 with an A counterbass, then the B flat major, then the B flat major with an A counterbass, then a G minor 7. That's it. That's the G counterbass with the B flat major chord button, B flat button. Then the next one's G minor 7 with the diminished fifth. So that's the G counterbass with the B flat minor button. Then the F major, F sharp diminished, which we showed you earlier. Then the G7 in traditional. Then the G minor 7 with that pinky. And the C7. Let me go over that again. That's the chorus. We'll do the chorus chords. Just pretty much stayed right there. It didn't go anywhere, and all your fingers are already there. And why jump around all over God's creation like people do? Well, it's because they don't know. They don't know this. So anyway, let me see. On the first verse, for example, let me show you this little thing. On the first verse, when you're ending your first verse, you'd hear this. Whoops. You'd hear this. Now see, when I did that thing, watch this. Da, 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 da. That's a full A7 with no tones missing. D7 with no tones missing, but then I switched to the regular G7 in the traditional position because the fifth is missing on this 7th button. But you'll notice I played it with the right hand. Watch this. Whoops, excuse me. Here it is. Now see, I played the chord with the traditional playing, the 7th, G7th button, but over here I can play the E flat, this weird fifth. Actually, it's an augmented fifth, because over here the fifth is missing, so there's no clash. See, there's no clash. It's slightly dissonant, but it's nice. I just wanted to show you that when you play the seventh chords over here in the traditional position that you can play, and an augmented fifth over here on this side in your melody, and there's no clash and there's no banging and clanging. I just wanted to throw that in. Now, on quickly here, I'm trying to get done quickly. On the chorus, when you're doing the chorus, you get to that part. Okay. That's the regular way. You go to the F sharp diminished chord. But for that, after the G minor 7 with the diminished fifth, I do a little run. It's F major. That's that one we started with. And I do a run like this. Now, that's F major to E7, E dominant 7, E flat dominant 7, D7. So that's F major. Then I slide my index finger up to the E counterbass. And then I use the C flat diminished button. In other words, E counterbass, C flat diminished button. As I get an E dominant 7. Then that's the E flat 7 in the traditional position. And I slide my finger up here. I slide my ring finger up. But as I'm playing and the note's being depressed, I slip my pinky onto that note so I can easily play the counterbass here. And then the thumb plays the A diminished chord button. So I get the dominant 7th chord. Watch. F major, E7 dominant 7, E flat dominant 7, D dominant 7. See how that went? Now, to play that in the traditional way, watch, this is hideous. I'd have to go F major, jump up here to E7, jump back down to E flat 7, jump back up to D7. Did you see my hand? The bulk of my hand, the body of my hand is moving like this, but it's hit and miss. I mean, who can play like that unless you're a professional and you practice for 5,000 years? Watch, this is my way. The 5-finger way, actually. Bop. See, isn't that nice? Let's give it some meteor sound here. Anyway, I wanted to show you that, and I think I want to wrap it up here now because this video is too long, and people who aren't familiar with what I'm trying to say will think this is stupid, and even people who are interested might find it boring if it goes too long. So if I make any more, I'll keep them shorter and I'll focus on a specific chord progression or a specific thing, and I hope that wasn't too boring and too hideous. I just want to pass this on because I don't see it being employed on the internet. I don't see anybody using the thumb. Anybody. I've looked at zillions of videos, and once in a while you see the pinky being used, but you just don't see the thumb. And I don't know why. It's a beautiful thing, and we'll talk more later, but I think I covered what I wanted to cover. I think we reached our goal that we mentioned in the first video. So I think that's it. And if there's any boo-boos or any haters want to put nasty comments, go ahead, because I'll learn from it. You always learn from it, from the good and bad. That's it. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.